Hello everyone, welcome to round number 3 of the Chess Olympiad in Chennai. And one of the biggest upsets in this round was Italy's win over Norway. The lower rated Italians winning over Magnus Carlsen and company. Okay, let's check out the games from this match. In Carlsen's game, it was a repetition. Okay, white was Vocatoro, he was a pawn up with 5 against Magnus 4 pawns. In this position, white played knight c2 to protect the pawn on b4. Magnus played bishop d7. Then white played knight e3, attacking d5. Magnus had to play bishop e6 and knight c2 back. It's hard for Magnus to go for a win here. Now, let's say, for example, he controlled the file with, let's say, rook a8. The king will simply go e3. Okay, if he goes rook g8, this is rook g2. Right? Let's say you go back to c8 or a8, whatever. Knight will just go back to d4. Then he can push the pawn on b5. Even g4 is playable later on with f5. And in this position, it's actually white who has a chance to go for the win with that extra pawn. So Magnus had to settle for a draw with a repetition of knight e3, bishop e6, the draw. So Magnus' opponent here was only 2-6 guy. But again, he's a grandmaster. Yeah. It's not so easy actually to play the lower rated players, because they have more motivation to play for the win. You know? And when you are higher rated, you think about different factors. Your rating, the pressure playing for your team, yeah, and everything else. So Magnus couldn't get a win here. In board 2, Carlsen Tari had this position. Carlsen Tari was white, symmetrical pawn structure, queens on the board, no pawn breaks. Definitely a draw. It was from here, from knight and queen, nothing changed, right? Except for the exchange of knights, and that's it. It was a draw in the end. And now the decisive games. On board number 3, Jan Ludwig Hammer was actually hammered by his opponent. Now this was the position. Hammer went for queen d7 here. Okay, this is already bad for black, but he could still hold with rook d6. Okay, that pawn, of course, on f6 is annoying. Now, if the queen goes to f2 to attack, to protect f6, then you have knight e7. Or the white can play e5 here, knight takes e5, and then probably queen f4. Would still win for white, I guess. Yeah. But with queen d7, it was easy for white with the move h5, opening up this king, yes, with h takes g6, the demolition of the king side pawn structure. King goes to g8, queen e3. Black went for queen takes d1. White ignored the threat, queen takes d6. Now, if you capture this, queen was black's last trick. That's probably the reason why he played queen d7. Okay, this rook takes d1, of course. Whether you go f2 or h2, black has knight g4. A double attack on the queen, yes, and the king. On f2 or h2. But white went for h takes g6. All right, but here, Hammer went for queen takes f1. He probably thought that it's over after that, yeah. Black could just simply play h takes g6 here. I don't know what he was thinking. I don't know. Was he afraid of f7, I guess? f7 maybe? Because if king takes, then just f8 queen. Rook takes f8. Rook takes d1. That wins for white. But what about knight takes f7? You play rook takes d1. Rook takes d1 check. Rook takes d1 check. Rook takes d1. And then if you go king f2, king takes g7. Yeah. I mean, in this position, I prefer black. You have the knight, the bishop, and the rook. Value-wise, you have 11 points against the queen with 9. Yeah, and plus the role of the bishop, knight, and the rook. Combine it. This is good for black. Yeah? But the pressure of playing for your team is different from the pressure when you're playing individually. No, I don't know. It's some sort of hallucination for black here when he captured an f1. He didn't see this square on e2. He was just maybe thinking about square on f2. And he just resigned, yeah. Now, h takes g6 here was still fine. Nothing else here for white, yeah. It's just f7. You take the knight, take the pawn with the knight, takes, and takes. And had hammer won the game, would have been 2-2. But instead, lost, and the team lost. Because Magnus also couldn't help with his loss, yeah. And if we take a look at Christensen's game, okay, this was a critical moment also of the game. Here he played queen c8, rook e8, queen f5, after king g8, queen d5, and then king h8. Black's king was very safe. The pressure here on g1. After queen f7, there's rook a8, and then queen c4, exchanging the queen, takes the pawn, and it's game over after this. After a few moves, knight h3, bishop f6. Okay, the rest is just a matter of technique. It is already waiting for black. Rook to d1, queen e2, queen e5, and c6. That's too many points. Black has no counter play. Now going back to that critical position here. Okay. Well, there is a pin on g1 with queen and bishop, so you cannot take the rook on e5. But white has rook a3 here. It's free, right? If you take that rook, then you can take on e5. If the queen goes back to c1, you have queen d8 check and go for perpetual here. King f7, queen d7. Let's say he wants to escape. King g6, queen e6. He tries to escape with king g5, queen g4. King h6, queen h3. He goes king to g6, go back to e6. That's the dream. The rook a3, although it's hard to find, that we can understand again. It's not so easy with less time also, when pressure is there, the pressure on the first rank, plus the team needs you to win. That's an added pressure also. So rook a3, okay, black could go back to e8 here. And then now you can go for your checks. Queen f5, king g8, queen d5, king h8. This time you can capture in b5, hitting that rook on e8. Now what's the difference when he played queen c8? Check, rook e8, check, and then he played queen f7. If you capture on b5 here, for example, there is rook e1. Yeah, while going back, okay, let's go back to queen takes b5. There's no rook e1 because of rook a8. All right, using the a file to the 8th rank here. Chess geometry, and it's going to be made. So with threat on the rook, probably black will go for rook to d8 here, and then go back to rook d3. And white has some chances here, by the way. Extra pawn, although black will still be slightly better with that spin on the knight. But white is not worse. Okay, maybe h6 here and queen a4, protecting d4. Also rook d1 coming with the queen on a4. Alright, easing that pressure on g1. But chess is chess. It's a competition. Well, someone has to lose. And in this round, it was an upset by Italy against Norway. That's a good thing about the Olympiad, because it gives chance to the other players, right, to showcase their talents. These days, we only see elite competition, right? Playing against each other. We see boring draws. But the good thing about the Olympiad is that a lower rated guy can beat a higher rated guy given the chance. There's also giving a chance to make a name for themselves. All right, so that's about it. It was an upset by Italy over Magnus and company, 3-1. Thank you guys for watching, and thank you for supporting our channel, Charles Max Chess and Charles Max Entertainment on Facebook and YouTube. This is Coach Oliver. Stay safe, everyone.